this is a fill I was working on for myself. My band decided they wanted to do the Yes song, Owner of a Lonely Heart. And if you're familiar with that song, the intro fill has kind of a unique sound to it. It doesn't actually sound like live drums. I mean, I honestly don't know if it was live drums processed really strangely, or if it's electronic drums or all programmed, or what it was. But it doesn't really sound like an acoustic kit. So that's the kind of drum fill, drum pattern that sometimes you got to take some liberties with to come up with something that's going to work on your acoustic kit. So when I'm approaching something like that, what I try to do is just figure out where the main instruments are happening, right? So I want to kind of figure out where there's a snare sound, where there's a bass sound, and then kind of work, the toms or whatever into what other rhythms I'm hearing. So when I listened to that fill, the initial thing I was listening for was where the snare drum hits, or, a snare drum type of sound. All right? And what I heard was on the 1, the 3, and then the and a 4. Those were the big kind of poppy hits. And then I listened to where are the big bass drum punches, the low end frequencies. So I heard the 2 and then I also heard the 4 and the E of 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Going into that snare. 4, and in between, there's a couple little rhythms I was hearing. So after the 1, I hear kind of a 4-stroke rough, a triplet kind of phrase. And again, because it doesn't sound like an acoustic kit, you can't tell if it's like played on a snare. I heard it as kind of your classic bucket of fish lick, because that kind of leads right into that bass drum on the 2. 2 and. That just felt good. Sounds rhythmically right, and it just, for a live setting, feels pretty good. And then the other little thing I was hearing was right before that bass drum on the 4 and the E, going into the and on the snare, 4 and, I was hearing just a little kind of ghosty kind of snare drum thing happening. So after kind of playing around with a couple of stickings on that, to me it felt good just to play that with my left hand to get it nice and quiet and not get it too loud or have an unequal sound to it. So when I put that all together, this is what I came up with for that fill.